This week on KCBY, we talk to CISD's new superintendent about what the next steps are for the district.
We take a look at the government shutdown and the effects it has on CHS.
And we see how health supplements are being used by athletes.
Hi, and welcome to our 9th KCBY show for the 2025 to 2026 school year. I'm Emily Riojas.
And I'm Sophia Vittorio. KCBY starts now.
CISD is entering a new chapter of leadership as many changes head our way. Amongst the topics discussed during the board meeting on September 29th, the trustees voted to officially appoint the new superintendent.
Anushka sat down with Dr. Leanne Shivers to learn about her plans and what is in store for students, staff, and families of the district.
After months of a comprehensive interview process, Dr. Leanne Shivers was announced as the new superintendent. Having previously served as an assistant and associate principal here in CISD, I talked to Dr. Shivers about her return to Capel as the new superintendent.
It's great to be meeting you today. Stepping into the role of superintendent recently, can you tell me how the adjustment has been and how you've been settling in?
Absolutely. It's been wonderful. I mean, anytime you have a chance to go to Capel, everybody is friendly. It's been fun to go to the campuses. It's been fun to see our students in so many different events already, so it's been fantastic.
Can you tell me what things you're looking forward to as a superintendent, what positive changes are going to happen?
You know, I think Capel is one of those unique districts where we are building upon a legacy of excellence. You know, how do we continue to provide those opportunities and to streamline those opportunities for our kids that they're beginning in elementary school? We have students that we know hopefully graduate as completers within their CTE pathways. We look at some of the specialized programming that we have. They provide some of those leadership qualities that we're talking about as well. And I think that's the piece that's the most exciting.
My next question is, New Tech was chosen to be consolidated next year. And I was wondering what your opinions are on that and what the plans might be.
So I have been so impressed with the work that's gone on prior to me coming here. We have multiple committees who are meeting to really see what that new consolidation plan looks like. What does it look like academically? How do we provide additional opportunities and continue the opportunities that kids are used to? What does it look like as far as the structure within a school? And so I'm excited at the progress that they're making. I'm really excited to see what opportunities that has.
The district has been dealing with the budget issue for a while now. If they're not consolidating elementary schools, what is the plan to improve the budget?
So we put together a very draft version of what our budget consolidation or what our budget reductions and efficiencies could look like over the next 3 years. We're always keeping in mind the impact that it has to programming and the impact that it has to our kids in the classroom.
As the interview wrapped up, Dr. Shivers turned the tables and asked me a question.
Sure. Okay. You're here, you're a senior, you've been a part of it. What do you want to make sure I know and I understand about our kids and what this district means to them?
I think in this district, I found like a forever home. Those CTE classes are like a place to really find that community. I found it in KCBY, and I know a lot of people found it in Sidekick or Roundup or even in like TSA. And even though we're really hard at like academics, I think those extracurriculars are really what let us shine as individuals. I wanted to thank you so much for doing this interview, and it was lovely to hear from you.
Well, it was great to meet you and to have a chance to do this as well.
For KCBY, I'm Anushka Sharma.
The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, is a lifeline for many low-income families. But recent cuts caused by the government shutdown have left some struggling to access food.
Kavya brings us more on how this issue is impacting families right here in the CHS community.
SNAP benefits, which help millions of Americans afford groceries, have recently been reduced across the country. For many families, that means smaller budgets at the store and tougher choices about what goes on the table each week. Those cuts are already leading more people to turn to local food pantries for support. To learn how that's affecting our community, we spoke with Kason McMahon, Director of Nutrition Services at MetroCrest, and Mr. Ray Poole, the advisor of the food pantry at Capel High School.
If you're food insecure, what happens is you aren't worried about what you're learning in school. You're not worried about the next class, or you're not worried about the test you have tomorrow. You're worried about what's going to be available to eat when I get home.
So right here in Dallas County, we have 311,000 folks who are receiving SNAP benefits monthly. Half of those are children under the age of 18. The other half are seniors over the age of 65. We're seeing clients really panic. There's a lot of fear about what you're going to do for your next grocery run.
We're going to have more of a demand. We're going to have more food available. And we're also going to have things that we normally or haven't used to carry in the past, like cleaning products or personal products.
So we're doing what we can on increasing the allotments and allowing folks to take more of the dry, non-perishable stuff and opening up those emergency distributions. So we've increased the quantities for families shopping through here on site. We've of course opened up our extended hours to accommodate for that increase of folks.
I'll actually have students come by and drop off saying, hey, we bought this and I want to donate it. That's the great thing about this community. This is a passionate community where people care about each other, the students care about each other.
For KCBY, I'm Kavya Narayanan.
Now to the sidekick for the latest from Capel Student Media.
Thanks, Emmy. This week on Capel Student Media, read Rama Awan's story on the football team's victory against Flower Mound Marcus, read Ahana Roy's feature on art teacher Michelle Hosky and her improvised costumes, and read Hannah Vippen's feature on Sage business teacher David Janeski. Now, back to the studio.
Thanks, Hugh. Now to Maya with the buzz.
With the seasons changing and the breeze getting colder, country music is in the air. Hudson Westbrook, Brad Paisley, Lainey Wilson, and so many more artists are on tour and making headlines. November has been jam-packed with entertainment news. With Stranger Things releasing only a 5-minute clip of the first episode, fans are getting excited and antsy as the release date for Volume 1 is creeping up on November 26th. Jacob Elordi is turning heads, starring in beloved books turned to movies. Shortly after its release this past weekend, Frankenstein already has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 85%. And with Wuthering Heights not only starring Jacob Elordi, but Margot Robbie will be co-starring alongside him. This combo is getting fans riled up for its release date early next year. I don't know about y'all, but you'll definitely find me in theaters February 13th. That's all for this week. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Maya. Now to sports for all things Capel Athletics.
Hi, I'm Evan Meekins, and this is CSPN. As Capel football heads into their first playoff game tonight against the Plano Wildcats, we ask the question, why is football so big in Texas? Arias dives deep to uncover a slice of life for many Texans.
Texas is the unofficial capital of high school football. Stats show that Texas high school stadiums have a combined capacity of over 4.4 million. In fact, our own Buddy Eccles Field is 2 times the state average. But what makes Texas football so much bigger compared to other states like California or Florida?
Coach Pell, can you tell me a little bit about what makes Texas football such a deeply rooted part of our culture here?
I just think historically, I think different sports throughout the country have taken root. And I think, for over a century, football has just been really just king in this state. Culturally, the other element of it that brings so much is there's so much pageantry to it because of the fact that there's so much involvement in football. I mean, it is, you don't just have football fans in the stands, you've got parents and fans of kids that are performing in our fine arts, it is our student council's involved. The number of folks that are there that are not even just there for the football game, but for everything that's in addition to, I think that adds to it.
It's one thing to talk about Texas football culture. It's another thing to feel it. For players new to the Lone Star State, the difference hits as soon as the Friday night lights come on.
Okay, Kareem, I know you moved here from Georgia, right? Can you tell me a little bit about what that difference looked like coming from Georgia and seeing the football culture there compared to Texas here?
Yeah, of course. So the culture here is definitely much bigger. It's a big part of the community and how people come and get together on a Friday night. It's much bigger than it is in Georgia. There's always sold out games here and people really just show out for us.
Awesome, Kareem. And I'm sure that football is such an important part of our school and all the school districts around us as well. Talk about how that treatment is different here than in other states, like like Georgia, for example.
I mean, definitely just because of the size of the districts here, we get a lot more resources, a lot more funding, and just the things that us as players we have access to, whether it's like recovery or just better equipment. and the quality of training is much better here than it is in Georgia.
And for anyone who has experienced the energy on a Friday night, there's something about Texas football that's hard to put into words.
Coach, when people talk about the phrase Texas football, what do you think this phrase represents to you and our community?
I say pride, I mean, all the way down to like college recruiting and like national rankings, like where our high school, our top 5, 6, maybe even 10.
Community, it brings people together. Friday nights, it definitely unites people. Support their team, whether they were alumni or they went to that school. It just brings people together always.
For KCBY, I'm Marius Rapp.
According to Kids Health, sports supplements are pills, powders, or drinks used to build muscle, lose weight, or improve endurance. Akshaya takes a look into how athletes can understand which supplements make a difference and learn habits to keep their bodies performing at their best.
More than 50% of athletes use supplements. The real question is, which ones actually work and are there better ways to get results? Powerlifter Philip Forger shares how supplements have impacted his strength and performance throughout the school year.
My reason for taking a minimal amount of supplementals is that my knowledge on supplementals isn't very extensive, so I'd have to go into deeper research on what's best for me and what do I need for my performance. And so far, the practices that I've implemented into my lifestyle and into my training program have been working pretty effectively. But I think it aids competitors and helps small things with their performance. For example, magnesium is a great supplemental that's going to help with your bone health as well as your sleep. And getting better sleep is going to incrementally help you hit PRs and help you put out more during your performance.
Beyond supplements, what are the other options? Coach Naragon weighs in with his insight on alternative paths.
The supplements that I think that work the best truly are just to get your daily amount of protein, carbs, fat, creatine in your body that you need. Creatine is probably the most studied supplement since the 1980s.
Sports medicine head Coach Carson breaks down the facts behind nutrition and what athletes really need to stay healthy.
You need to eat clean, whole, lots of vegetables, lean meats, lots of water. Most teenagers eat what they want to eat. If you aren't getting enough, calcium or iron in your diet and you're still running 30 and 40 miles a week, you might get a stress fracture in your lower legs.
For KCBY, I'm Akshaya Viravelli.
That's all for CSPN. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Evan. And now we honor our Teacher of the Week.
This week, we present Mrs. Volker with our Teacher of the Week. Mrs. Volker is always engaging with her students and bringing light into the classroom. Thank you so much for your continuous support of our program. We are grateful for all that you do.
That's all for KCBY this week.
We'll see you next week, CHS. Thanks for tuning in.